There we go. Okay. All right. A couple of things to notice. Wait. Purple thing over there. Wait. Is that really Japan? Japan. Look at the size of Japan. One of the great tragedies of this map is look what happens to Africa. It almost completely disappears. It's one of the great tragedies of the modern world, given the natural resources of that continent and the human resources within it, that it's not a participant in the 21st century. Take a look at Western Europe compared with Eastern Europe. In previous land area, if I remember correctly, they were about the same. They're about the same, maybe a little more in Eastern Europe. Now take a look. So what you see there is the leftovers of the failure of Eastern Europe to be a participant in the progress of science and technology. And then you look at America, oh, look at fat and happy. Why is anyone saying that there's something wrong with America? Just look at this. We're fat and happy. Oh, by the way, what's plotted here is science research. But you know what this also could be a map of? Because it tracks it almost precisely? Economic wealth. Economic wealth. What are the three largest economies in the world? China, well, I don't know yet. United States, you've got lawyers in the front row here, they should get it. United States, the European Union, and Japan. And there they go. United States, European Union, Japan. There it is. And I'm plotting science here. I'm not plotting wealth or GDP. Then, oh, wait, what's this? First it looks like some kind of tumor growing off of South America here, but the biggest country there, what country is that? Brazil. You don't get that by wearing tongue bikinis. You get that. This is not the tongue bikini map. Okay? This is the science map, and there's Brazil rising up out of South America relative to other countries. So this is not the right map, it turns out. You don't want this map. This is how much science is being conducted. What you want to know instead is how much science are we conducting today compared with 10 years ago. That's what you want to know. That's a trend line. Okay? That's the writing on the wall. That's tomorrow. That's where the world is headed. Because you can look at this and say, China doesn't look all that large compared to their normal land area. They don't look that big. Let's look at the trend lines. The change in scientific research. There you have it. Africa is even smaller. Japan is even bigger. China is even bigger. Western Europe, even bigger. Brazil, even bigger. United States, small. This is tomorrow. Somebody has to tell you that. You're in college, right? You are in a position to create a tomorrow. I'm kind of not, right? I can show you stuff. You're in a position to create it tomorrow. And I submit to you, not everyone can or even should be a STEM professional. What a boring world that would be. Yes, we need some lawyers, perhaps not quite as many as are in the world now, but we need some lawyers, especially the ones in the front row. Those are the ones we especially need, okay? But if in the future we embrace not only Earth, but space, where there are asteroids that could kill us or could serve as a repository of natural resources. Realize an asteroid the size of this stage contains more platinum than has ever been mined in the history of the world. A properly chosen asteroid. No, because some asteroids are just rock. That's no fun. Hey, what'd you bring back? Rock. I'm going to bring back the right asteroid, right? So, I mean, the country I grew up in dreamed. And there's some YouTube videos of me talking about this. By the way, I've never posted a single YouTube video in my life. I didn't even know how to post a YouTube video. What's happening is, no, I'm not proud of it. I'm just, she said, I'm with you. But no, I'm not proud of this, man. You said, okay. It's just that I'm impressed how much free time videographers have to create words into visual imagery, right? I'm impressed by that. But secondly, what I'm noticing is there's things I'm saying that are resonating with people, and they're said in very restricted outlets and venues with small audiences, and someone finds it and they put it on YouTube, and it gets 1 million views. And I'm saying, well, okay, and then people say, oh, Neil, you're my hero. And I'm thinking, no, nobody should be anybody's hero. Because you know what happens when you have a hero? I'll show you what happens when you have a hero. Okay? You sit down at the bar with your beer, and you say, okay, go on, hero, do hero things. That's what you do. No, you should be the hero, right? Not somebody else. But you can't, I'm one person, you're like a whole other set of 1,700 people, plus whoever's left on the lawn. Maybe they've given up. It was raining and like thunder and lightning earlier. Did they put up a lightning rod? We go out there and all like burn Chris. Like a headline, alligator. Why is it called the alligator, not the gator? I know it's the same thing, but trademark? Okay, just answer. Just answer. So I want to leave you with the thought that a cosmic perspective allows you to take it all in. Not only geopolitically, but Earth as a planet. There is a photo, the most recognizable photo there ever was, taken in 1968, when Apollo 8. Very few people talk about Apollo 8 because it was not Apollo 11. Apollo 11 had Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They took steps on the way and left their footprints. They did not. Apollo 8, they went to the moon. It was the first time anyone ever left Earth for another destination. It was 1968. The bloodiest year in the bloodiest decade on American soil since the Civil War. There were assassinations, campus unrest, civil rights movement, a hot war in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, losing 100 servicemen a week, a Cold War with the Soviet Union holding the entire world prisoner, hostage. The only glistening moment in that year was that we went to the moon. And watch what happened. They went in orbit around the moon, and on one of those orbits they came around, they held up the Hasselblad camera, and there was Earth rising above the lunar landscape. And that photo was Earthrise over the moon. And there was Earth. Never before seen this way. We can all take this for granted today. But at the time, the only Earth any of us had ever seen was the schoolroom globe with countries color-coded and boundaries identified. And now here was Earth as nature intended it to be viewed, with oceans, landmass, clouds. We went to the moon to explore the moon. But in fact, what we ended up doing was discovering Earth for the first time. I want to go back to the moon. I got problems here and there I got to solve. want to vote however you want. Okay, we're a free democracy. Vote however you want. But it should be informed. Right? It should be an informed vote, an informed decision that you make. In 1962, Rachel Carson published a book called Front Row Knows Loudly. Back row, I haven't heard yet from you from the back row. Back row, Rachel Carson published what book?
Silent Spring.
Thank you, Silent Spring, which was an indictment of pesticide practices in the environment, among other observations about our relationship to the natural world. It was published in 1962. Many people credit that with the emergence of the modern conservation movement. No. That is false. With Google, you can now search word frequency in all published books in a year. So you do that. And I look for all published books between 1955 and 1980. And I look for the word, the phrase DDT. Okay, so there it is. It makes a little blip during her book. It was on the bestseller list, and then it drops back to previous levels within a year. I look for the word environment. It makes a little blip in appearance, in frequency, in published literature, then it drops back down to previous levels. I look for any word that could possibly mean that she started a movement. They all make little blips and they go back to zero. 1968 comes. The word environment goes through the roof. And what happens between 1968, technically 1969, because the photo was published in December, from 1969 to 1973. It's a 5-year period. Okay? Yes, that is 5. 69, 70, 72, 73. Because we're not purely subtracting those two numbers, we're including the boundaries. It's just math. So in that 5-year period, here is what happened. Here is what happened. Remembering, we're still at war. Cold War, hot war. The students on the Kent State campus were not yet shot. Okay? We are still have problems in this country. And over that 5-year period, somehow we found the political will to create the Environmental Protection Agency. 1970, under a Republican president, by the way. DDT was banned. The catalytic converter was introduced to cars. Leaded gas was banned. A Comprehensive Clean Air Act was passed. A Comprehensive Clean Water Act was passed. Earth Day was birthed in 1970. Not only locally and then nationally and then internationally. All this was going on. The organization Doctors Without Borders was founded. Where do you think they got that idea from? You could ask them, they say, well, we just figured that was what it is. No, you saw the picture. Before that picture, you would have said, we are international doctors. We airplane doctors. No, they're Doctors Without Borders. The fact that we went to the moon and looked back to Earth got infused in our culture. It affected how we thought about the world. It affected how we thought about nature. It affected how we thought about each other. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on a cosmic perspective. By the way, that's not the first time such a thing happens. Anytime a nation has stepped beyond itself to go to new places, you learn something about where you came from that you never knew had you never left. That is what exploration is about. That's the future that we all had in mind at the time. And so I offer you this perspective. I don't require that you like it, take it to heart. I just want you to have heard it. And then folded